What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, brothers? What's going on? It is your dude, Mr. International Passport, here again for a future classic live stream. Um, First and foremost, how's my audio? Press the one, the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Mayday, Mayday, check 1 2, check 1 2. Who's here in the building, man? All right, who's here? Who's here? Who is here? Who's here, bro? Okay, is the audio good? How's the production quality? Let me know, please. Let me know. Who's here, bro? Who is here? Jesse in the building. Appreciate you, Jesse, for the support as always. Thank you, bro. Who else is here in the building, man? Who else is here? Who else is here? Okay. Who else is here? Can I get a couple more ones, please, in the chat? Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Who's here, bro? Who's here? Can you hear me? Ola Femai in the building. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Awesome, man. Awesome. Ooh, so let's get straight into it, okay? What's up, Ozzy? What's up, Joseph? What's up, man? I got a lot to say and a lot to speak about. And of course, there'll be a crash out session after this stream, okay, where we take away from YouTube and we crash out and we speak about what's really going on in our hearts and in our minds, man, particularly in the heart IP and the mind of IP, okay? But I want to talk about a very important topic here, okay? And before we do so, I want to say, please, 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 okay? Please make sure you hit the like button. Please support the channel throughout tonight. Hit the super chats, hit the PayPal donation. Any support will be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. And to join the Patreon too for intel on traveling, foreign women, crypto, stocks, etc., etc. Okay. So let's get straight into it. Okay. Let's get straight into it. The title of this stream is very clear to you, and it says, "Don't wife her if she's not pure. Should men reserve marriage only for virgin women?" Okay. And it's a topic that, shout out to Jam, inspired, so right, by regular viewer called Jam. Jam, if you're here, tap one in the chat, bro. Hopefully you call in later on, okay? Now, a lot's been on my mind about marriage, all right? About legacy, okay? And we live in a world where it's scary, man. It's scary. And we live in a world where, how do I put this? Okay? We live in a world where, if you make one mistake when it comes to picking a woman, you could lose everything. Everything that you've worked for could be gone. Okay? And that's gone through a process called divorce. Now, I'm going to share my screen over here and I'm going to back up my claim here. Not my claim. It'll be an open discussion here where we discuss where is marriage worth it in 2025? And if it's not worth it, what's the alternative option here? Okay? To marriage. So let me tell you why many brothers are on the fence about marriage. And it's all about virginity and a woman having multiple sex partners. All right. So I'm going to share my screen here. I've got a graphic here. Okay. I've got a graphic here where shout out to the Twitch gang, shout out to Rumble gang, shout out to the Kick gang. If you're here, type of one in the chat, man. We out here, man. Appreciate you, brothers. So let me share my screen over here. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Present. Share screen over here. Okay. So you can see my screen here and it says woman, premarital sex and divorce. The chances of divorce after 5 years of marriage. By marriage decade, and number of premarital sexual partners. So let's go by the latest decade, okay, which is the 2000s. Now I know we are in the 2020 decade, all right, but there is no stats for it yet, okay. So let's go by the most recent decade, and that's the decade of the 2000s. According to the stats over here, all right, a woman that has zero partners, i.e., if she's a virgin, the chance of divorce after 5 years of marriage stands at 5%. So essentially, right, if you marry and wife up a virgin chick, after 5 years, there's a 5% chance of divorce. And we know that most women are the ones that file for divorce. Majority of women file for divorces over men. And that's backed up by stats. Okay. So if you were to marry a virgin chick, after 5 years, there's a 5% of divorce, which is pretty low. That's awesome. Now, what's surprising here for me, right, is when a woman loses her virginity. So that means when she gets to one partner, okay? So a woman having one partner and you're married to her, okay? And you are not the guy that took her virginity, someone else did, but you wifed her up, okay? Later on down the line in the future. There is a 20% chance of divorce. 20% chance of divorce after 5 years of marriage. I'm sorry, but that's crazy high after one body. That is insanely high after one body. So you see why a lot of men in the male space, right, clearly push out the message for men, high value men, to get a virgin woman. This ain't no game over here. We got stats here backing up the claim that after a woman has one partner, all right, after 5 years of being married to her, and you're not the guy that took her virginity, there's a over 20% chance of divorce. That's high. I'm sorry. Okay. Now it gets even worse, right? When she has two partners. So once again, you ain't the guy that took her virginity. Okay. You met a woman that has two partners, that two men have been inside her and have done the deed. Okay. So after two partners, there's a 30% chance of divorce. Lord have mercy. After 5 years, I'm sorry, right? But that's crazy high. That is crazy high. That's high. Just after two partners, after two dudes have been inside of her, there's a 30% chance of divorce after 5 years. Now, strangely enough, it says after three partners and 4 to 5 partners, right? There's a 25% chance and just under 25% chance of divorce after 5 years to a chick. Not sure why it's not higher, but I find it weird or interesting that, you know, after two partners, the rates of divorce drops. Okay. Then we get to the 6 to 9 partners range. Okay. And it steadily creeps up again, right, to just over 25%. Now, if a woman, right, has 10 partners in her actual history, okay, and you wife her up, unfortunately, there is a over 30% chance of divorce after 5 years. That is crazy high. That is crazy high. Now, this graph here takes into account the 2000s. And bro, let's be real here. If we were to get stats for the 2010s and the 2020s, bro, the stats will be a lot more higher for divorces the more a woman sleeps with multiple guys. So the moral of the story here is that As soon as a woman loses her virginity to a guy that is not you, you're playing with fire here. You're playing with fire here. So you see why virginity is important in a woman, in a marriage. There's a reason why in religion, right, it has been a principle that a woman must not have sex with any other guy that's not her husband. So essentially, she must wait until marriage until she loses her virginity. So now we see the importance here of religion and Christianity, Islam, etc., etc. These are two main religions that have an emphasis. Christianity, not that much nowadays, unfortunately, but definitely Islam. Definitely Islam in 2025. Now, there are some Christians, right, quite a few, that, believe in purity and not sleeping with any other dude unless it's marriage to a husband. But that's very rare nowadays in the West. Just just losing her virginity, just having one partner, the divorce rates skyrocket. Now, some of you will say, IP, this is an old stat, but now we live in an era where social media is everywhere. Instagram, NBA players, NFL players can DM a chick and fly her out. Fly her out, right? And fly her out, okay, to whatever country or whatever nation, right? And you have no idea, bro. So even though this stat is old, we can assume that it's a lot more worse right now in 2025. I'm actually saying, in my opinion, that as soon as a woman loses her virginity in 2025, I think that the divorce rate will probably skyrocket to 25% after 5 years, maybe 30% after 5 years, bro. So, so guess what, right? It now begs the question, right? What's the point in marriage if a woman isn't a virgin? Knowing that you're playing with fire here as soon as you marry a woman that has not lost her virginity to you. And there's a reason why, like, virginity is important. A woman will never forget her first time, especially if it's a guy that she truly loved back then, but for whatever reason it never worked out. But there's that lingering memories in her mind, the experiences, the fact that she lost it to a guy that wasn't you. I'm sorry, but I think guys should feel some type of way. It's always going to be in a woman's mind and heart. She will always remember the guy that took it from her. And then we're supposed to marry that. We're supposed to marry that in 2025. So you're married to a chick that still has memories of her first time. And you're not that guy. And then take away the virginity aspects, right? Then she goes on to sleep with 5 other guys. That's guys that have bonded with her spiritually, emotionally, and physically. The way women deal with SCX is way different from when a guy deals with SCX. For women, it's more emotional. So multiple dudes have been inside her, breathed on her, connected with her on a spiritual and physical level. And then you're the 8th guy she slept with, and you have unfortunately married a chick that had 7 bodies before you. That's memories of dudes that in her, in her film reel. The first guy she lost it to. Second guy that she emotionally, physically bonded to. Breathing on her. Kissing on her. What the hell, bro? So now let's peel it back a layer over here, because shout out to Jam here. The whole point of a woman in a white dress in a wedding, right, is purity. The white dress represents purity, pure. That means she's been untouched, she's clean, she's not had sex with anyone before you in the marriage. So she's pure. So now we have, in 2025, women wearing white dresses, walking down the aisle with bodies of 20 dudes. How is that pure? How is that representing purity? How is that representing purity? Knowing that the meaning of the white dress that a woman wears, right? The meaning of a white dress a woman wears represents purity and pureness for her husband on the wedding night. But she's given that box away to a dude that's not you. And you ain't gonna feel some type of way about that? You ain't gonna feel some type of way about that? Now, let's now peel it back a layer. Okay? Let's now peel it back a layer, okay? Because I feel like now we got men, young men that are getting into big money. Young men that are inheriting money, or right, have a great business, or have a great career, or they got rich off crypto, or they've built wealth slowly. They've been investing in the stock market for a minute now, and they've built wealth over time. They've built wealth over time. Right? So we have a situation where dudes are going into marriage with non-virgin chicks, knowing that after 10 partners a woman has, the divorce rate skyrockets to 35, just under 35% after 5 years. Your assets are therefore at risk. Your money, your pension, your house, your car, everything you own that's in your name is at risk. Because you've unfortunately decided to wife up a chick with multiple body counts. I'm sorry, but that's a problem. That's a big problem. It is a problem that your assets are at risk here. And no one is talking about this, right? And there's a reason why it's very important for men to have the discipline. Control your lust, vet a woman. If you see flags of her having a high body count, you drop her. But some dudes can't do that. And then they wonder why they lose it all to a 304 in court. You're playing with your hard work here and your life here, especially if you come from poverty, bro. And guess what? A lot of brothers come from poverty. They make it rich, they make it good, and then they pick the wrong woman, they get divorced, and they've lost it all, bro. Just 10 partners. Actually, just a woman losing her virginity and having one partner, there's a 20% rate of divorce. That's high. That's high. So seeing that go for 5% to 20% just after one partner tells me one thing. A woman's virginity is sacred. A woman's virginity is sacred. That first guy she gives up to, that is imprinted on her memory and her psyche. She's holding your hands. She's looking at you in her eye, but in the background, there's that there's that there's that space of memories of the guy that took it from her first. And I know, right? We're in 2025, and finding a virgin is very hard, very, very hard. And even if she's a virgin, right? We don't know if she's done other actual acts. She may not have given up the box to any dude, but she may have done or participated in some sort of SCX act. So again, there's still an imprint there. Now, it then begs the question, right? Why should men get married to women that are not virgins? Is it worth getting married to a woman that isn't a virgin? And that's something that a lot of men have to take in, go away and think about that. Because divorce brings stress. You can lose everything, your mind, your assets, everything you've worked hard so for. It's not a game, bro. It's not a game. Of course, the stats here are even worse. And if anyone could pull up a recent stat for me, that'd be great. So now, why marry if a woman isn't a virgin? Think about that for a minute. Think about what's at risk over here. Think about what's at risk over here. Because I'm telling you right now, we ain't going back to the 50s and 60s anymore, bro. The 40s, 30s, where it was all good down then in terms of women not sleeping around, being virgins. We ain't going back, bro. It's pretty much gonna get worse, worse, and worse. And we have to say to ourselves, right? Is the institution of marriage even worth it anymore if she's not a virgin? And then if you go on even further, right? Cool. What's the alternatives, right? So let's say, right, okay, we all agree that if she's not a virgin, we're not going to marry her. Great. What's the alternative option over here? What if you want kids, IP? You know? What if you want kids? Well, I think, right, we got to be real over here. Is it possible to have kids with a woman who's not a virgin? I think it is. However, I don't think you should marry a woman that isn't a virgin. I'm just speaking on two sides here. If you don't want to marry a woman that isn't a virgin, is it okay to have kids with her and have some sort of boyfriend girlfriend relationship? That may be the future. Because guess what? A lot of us ain't got lung money like Elon Musk to be paying off chicks to be surrogates or whatever, whatever. We got to be real here, bro. We are living in a modern time where a lot of women are turning away from religion. And guess what? Y'all say IP, go to church, bro. Listen, there's a lot of 304s in church. There's hella 304s in church, bro. The F you mean, cuz. And guess what? You can smell the stench of 304ism on their clothes, bro. You can just tell. You can just tell who's a 304 in church. The church ain't gonna get you your wifey in most cases nowadays in 2025. A lot of 304s in church, bro. But Umar Johnson, the pastors will tell you go to church to find your wife. Yeah, it's possible. But guess what, bro? We got to be real here in 2025. A woman in church at 20, a woman who's 25 in church looking for a husband, cool. What the hell was she doing at 19, 20, 21, 22? Particularly if she was on college campuses. So guess what, right? You got this Christian chick, right, who was at Arizona University for 4 years on campus. She's wearing long dresses, covering her arms and chest. I wasn't born yesterday, bro. I ain't stupid. You ain't no goddamn virgin, woman. You were in Arizona for 4 years, and I know what goes on college campuses. Don't play with me, cuz. Don't play with me. So guess what? The church ain't gonna find you in most cases your wifey. It's possible, but it ain't foolproof, bro. So now I'm speaking about this particular aspect here. I'm talking about what's on my mind here. So you want to have a kid, right? Is the future of relationships just being boyfriend, girlfriend, and having kids? Because I think, right, a lot more men are gonna wake up and say, listen, I can't put a ring on a finger of a chick who's not a virgin. I can't. That white dress means purity. That white dress means purity. This ain't no game no more to me, bro. Especially if you're a black man coming from poverty, coming from the goddamn trenches, bruv. Coming from the hood, cuz. And you worked yourself up. You've been through racism in corporate America. You've been through being underpaid, not getting promotions. Now you made it. Now guess what? You a high value man. You a boss dude. You got that money right now. We ain't about to give it to no 304 because she pretty, because she got a big ass. Because guess what? She may able to twerk something for us. Nah, bro. This is life right here, man. This is health, mental health, physical health, and assets. So I'm gonna tell you this right now, right? Perhaps marriage isn't the solution anymore. Perhaps marriage is now an updated concept. I'm just being real here. Perhaps marriage is now an outdated concept. But you know what? It was traditional to get married first, have kids. But I think maybe the future is to have kids or not get married. But make sure you pick a woman that has the lowest body count as possible, because even though you ain't married to her and there's no risk of divorce, right? You just don't want to be with a chick that's been breathed on by multiple dudes. To me, that's disgusting. I just can't, like, I can't deal with a chick, right, that's had multiple dudes breathe on her, lick her, touch her, um, fluids. It makes me sick. It makes me sick. Okay, it makes me sick. So that's one aspect over here, right? Now, some brothers tell me, IP, right? She may not be a virgin. If she's not a virgin, do a spiritual or religious marriage with her, right? Again, I feel like if you want to do a religious marriage and not get the states involved legally, religion is still important here. What's the foundational concept of religion, of virginity and religion and marriage? A woman must be a virgin when she's married to her husband as a Muslim woman or as a Christian woman, right? Or as a Christian woman. So religious marriages, right, may work to an extent, but I feel like she got to be a virgin. And if she's not a virgin, right? Okay. What if one day she turns on you, right? And then you're found out to have some sort of religious marriage or spiritual marriage. The courts could enforce a legal marriage upon both of you, especially if she wants to leave you and take resources from you. So imagine living in a world where there's no more virgin women. Why get married? Why get married to a woman that's not a virgin, right? And you know, a lot of women will push for marriage. Hey, put a ring on the finger. I think men should man up, step up, and tell them, no, you're not a virgin. We can have kids, but we ain't getting married, right? And some women, right, will walk away if you don't get married before having kids. I say drop her, because if you have that money, that paper, a woman will have your kids without getting married to you, bro. Money talks, BS walks. Perhaps that's the future of life now. Have kids, get a woman that has a low body count as possible, but because she's not a virgin, don't marry her. Right? Now, I'm sure, right, there's women out there with low body counts that, that are how do I put this? That have never divorced their husbands. But I think that's becoming very rare nowadays. We live in 2025. Women are taking in a lot of BS relationship advice from women on TikTok, IG, etc., etc. Men, we have to be thinking of things like this, man, of topics like this. There's a lot at stake over here, bro. Especially if you're a man that has built himself up, that's come from nothing, that's come from the bottom, right? You have to understand that it isn't a game. It isn't a game. It isn't a game, bro. It's not no game. A lot is at risk here. Legacy, family, your health. I done seen divorce destroy a man, bro. Type of one in the chat if you've seen what divorce has done to a man. You got dudes that are out there sleeping on the streets while their ex-wife is smashing some dude in a house and couch and bed that they bought. It couldn't be me, bro. It couldn't be me. It could not be me, bro. And once again, passport bro movement is the solution. You're more likely to find a virgin abroad. Now, I'm not saying it'll come across you in your lap all the time, but you're more likely to find a good woman abroad than in the West. The West is done out here, bro. American chicks are done out here. UK chicks are done out here. Canadian chicks are done out here. Australian chicks, no comment. If you marry an Australian chick, I got holy water in my cupboard. I'm gonna pour over your head to get some common sense into you, bro. It's not a game anymore, man. And I think now than ever, having connections, knowing someone that can vouch for you, that can vet for you, right? And say, hey, IP, that's a good chick right there. Wife her up. No, she's a virgin. She ain't be messing around. You want to get that, bro. And I'm being real here, bro. And I don't give a damn, right? If right now, let's say the government makes divorce illegal, right? I'm sorry, but I can't be with a chick that doesn't want me. A chick gotta be all over me, bro. She gotta want me. She gonna want to be around me. I can't be with a chick that doesn't want me, right? I think virginity is extremely important for a woman, and god damn those mofos who changed and perverted the whole traditional values that the West had many years ago. Shame on them. May they rot. May they rot, those devils. Because when you're a guy, right, that's grinded, that you've done your self-improvement journey, right? You're in the gym, you got a good job, you're keeping healthy. In my opinion, you deserve a virgin. You deserve a virgin. Because especially if you're a guy, right, that's not even slept around. If you're a guy that's been cool, that's been in the cut, that's been patient, that's been on his journey, on his self-improvement journey, in my opinion, a virgin woman must walk out that door in front of you and she's yours forever. That's how I feel, bro. But nowadays you have guys that have done the whole self-improvement journey, who have been in the gym, good job, healthy, getting money, and all they got right around them is 3 or 4 women with body counts of 20 plus dudes racking up through at colleges. Listen, right? What kind of life is that, bro? How are you self improving to wipe up a 3 or 4? That could not be me, bruv. And that's why I would say, right, one of my greatest strengths as a brother is having actual discipline. Lust does not control me. It never has, it never will. And I'll tell you a sneak peek, right, of my Ibiza Spain stream coming in a couple of weeks' time. I was in Ibiza, Spain, right, last year. And there was this European chick that was on it heavy, bruv. I'd have breakfast. She'd be around there. She'd come and sit next to me. She'd be in her bikini. Her chest is all popping out, bro. Her chest is popping out. She looking at me straight in the eye. Of course, she wanted that, bro. She was waiting for IP to tell her, hey, come back to my hotel room. IP never did that, bro. Same in Japan when I'm in the club, when a Japanese chick is telling me, IP, love hotel, love hotel. I looked at her crazy. That ain't happening. Men, you need that actual discipline, bro. Control your lust. Guess what? Me, IP, I didn't self improve. I didn't self improve, right? To be wifing up or dealing with 3 or 4s. I'm sorry. I did not self improve, right? To be smashing 3 or 4s. That's not why I'm on, bro. I'm self improving for myself, right? And I hope that I get me a virgin one day because I deserve that. I ain't no thug. I ain't no pookie. I ain't no gangbanger. I ain't no mofo. I'm an educated brother that was patient, that kept in the gym, that kept studying. I'm gonna need me a virgin, bro. I'm sorry, I need that more than anything. God put a virgin in my life right now, man. Please. I didn't self improve to be running through 3 or 4s, and that's the power of having actual discipline. I mean, I put in work, bro. I put in work, and then I'm in the beach of Spain. This slim, thick, white chick. She following me around, a European chick. She wanted it, bro. Hell nah, hell nah, right? And then I'm in Japan, right? Japanese chicks, they check in, right? I meet a Japanese chick. I thought she was cool. I find out her body count. I dropped her. I dropped her because I said to myself, IP, you did not self improve. I didn't go from 88 kilos. Listen, I used to be 88 kilograms. Now I'm 68 kilograms, bro. I did not go from 88 kilograms to 68 kilograms to wife up a 3 or 4. What the hell do you think I am, bro? So you know what? Having actual discipline, controlling your lust, I'm telling you, will take you far in life, man. Will take you far in life. And that right there is the ultimate cheat code. That right there is the ultimate cheat code. Don't just be running through chicks, especially when you know that you are a high value man and you put in work to get to where you are right now. I'm sorry, but going back to the point here about virginity and divorce, I'm in need me a virgin, man. And type one in the chat if you want a virgin, and type it and let me know in the chat where can we find virgin women in your opinion, because the world is getting more crazy. The demonic agenda is pushing out feminism, right? They're pushing out being 3 or 4s. They're using trash trash singers like Sabrina Carpenter and Olivia Rodrigo to push out this sort of actual liberation. Bro, no. We need to push back. We need to push back. Stand 10 toes deep in the snow, right? And believe in your principles. I will never deviate from my principles. And I know what my principles are, bro. I know what my principles are. And I ain't gonna never deviate from my principles. I'm gonna need me a virgin chick. Because this marriage stuff right now is looking real funky, bro. Especially when you're in a man that's building towards prosperity, wealth, strength, riches. I'm being serious here, right? And some of you guys, right, don't let a pretty face deceive you. Because I've been there, bro. I've been there. Chasing pretty women, right? But these women were 3 or 4s. Nah, bro. No. No. Because I'm telling you, man, like, don't let these feminists delude you. They'll tell you that, her past doesn't matter, her body count doesn't matter. It flipping matters, bro. And listen, I don't want to start crashing out yet because I want to crash the hell out right now and spaz out these flipping feminists, bro. Don't tell me that body count don't matter. There's stats here that show us that body count matters, bro. From a physical perspective, spiritual perspective, emotional perspective, body count flipping matters, bro. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Don't play with me because so the brother says here, right? You can be principled, but prepared to spend your life alone. Nah, bro. I know that, right? She coming. She coming, right? And you should believe in that too. The mind is very powerful. God sees all. Christ sees all. A principled man will pull principled woman. And ever since I've been on that principled time, right? More likely than not, I've come across women that have been decent. I've come across women that have been decent. Don't tell me that, hey, IP, if you want woman, you gotta be an unprincipled man. I don't want that. I don't want that energy near me, bro. We want to be principled men. Facts. And if we move the whole divorce talk apart, right? A woman having a high body count for me just makes me feel sick, right? And guess what? I've known women in high school, in college, in work or whatever, that have had high body counts, and I've kept away from them, bro. Something about three or four I just don't like. Some dudes can deal with them, speak with them, smash them, but I just can't do it, bro. There's something about the fact that they have been ran through by so many dudes that makes me feel sick. It's the fact that I'm picturing, right, multiple dudes have breathed on her. They've licked her, her arms, whatever. You know how it goes down in the bedroom. They've breathed on her, right? Uh, I I know I'm not gonna be going after sloppy seconds. I feel sick. It just irks me that I don't know how dudes do it, but I just can't smash a three or four or deal with them. I don't care if she's the most beautiful looking chick in the world. Because one thing I do, right? If I find myself falling for a three or four, I just picture other dudes that in the past that have breathed on her, kissed her, right? Um, whatever. I'm like, okay, no, I'm not gonna do a sloppy seconds. I walk away. So I'm about to speak for another 10 minutes, and then yeah, I can call in to let me know if you agree or disagree with this topic. If tell me if IP is taking it too far. Tell me if IP is delusional, right? If you believe IP is delusional, okay, let me know. Or if you agree with IP, let me know. Because I'm at a point where I'm thinking, is it worth getting married if she's not a virgin? Is it worth getting married if she's not a virgin? And even if she is a virgin, I believe that every man must protect the assets. Every man must have trust, must, hide things from their woman. Just don't get got out here, man. Guess what? It's a cold world, bro. It's a cold world. Shout out to, let me just chat. Shout out to KB Productions here for the support. Outside of the Middle East, Malaysia, India, and Cambodia have better chances of finding a virgin, but you have to vet because female nature never changes. Facts, bro. Facts. I'm at a point where I don't care if she's a virgin or not. I'm gonna protect myself at all cost. I am going to protect myself at all costs. I don't believe in joint bank accounts, if I'm honest with you. I don't believe in a lot of joint anythings. I think we live in a world where a lot of women are selfish, and I'm not here to share anything with a selfish chick. No, couldn't be me. All right. Um, there's a lot at stake over here. I read stories of, you know, homeless guys sleep on the streets, and what's worse, other dudes smashing their ex-wives on the bed that her ex-husband has slept on and bought. Couldn't be me, bro. Could not be me. Could not be me. There's a lot here, bro. A lot to think about. A lot to think about. big time. Please, like, please, man, like, um, I'm not against dudes going for arranged marriages, buying a chick because she's a virgin. Do it. If you need to buy a woman because she's a virgin, just do it. Especially if you want that family lifestyle. But think about, right. If you want kids, right, and she's not a virgin, would you have kids with her? Type of one. So would you not get married and have kids with a non-virgin? Type of one, if you would do so. Would you have kids with a non-virgin woman with the option of not getting married? Hey, we ain't gonna marry you. We won't get married because you're not a virgin, but we can have kids. Let me know if that's the future. Let me know if that's the future. Is that the future? Type of one in the chat. One if you disagree, two if one if you agree, two if you disagree. Let me know in the chat. Won't marry virgin or no virgin. Okay, that's fair enough, bro. So let's open up the phone lines. Okay. Uh, let me know. Okay. Uh, let's open the phone lines. Okay. Stop sharing. Or let me know if you agree or disagree. I'm gonna ask you to keep it respectful, no swearing, no N-word use. Keep it PG, please. On YouTube, we are still on YouTube, so keep it PG, no swearing, and be respectful. Okay. So let me put the link in the chat. Invite, copy, call in. And I never thought I live in a world where we be having these discussions, man. This is how you know, like, it's it's going to hell, bro. It's going to hell. Um, it's going to absolute hell. If no more versions exist, bro, Dorian Johnson, then no one should get married, in my opinion. I don't think women don't deserve the privilege of marriage, okay, if they're not a virgin. And I think that's something that men should be putting in their brains. Women don't deserve the privilege of marriage, that white dress and that or that ring, if they're not a virgin. Mr. T, I see you, bro. Thank you very much. Do you want to turn your camera off or leave it on? It's up to you. Thumbs up for the camera on. We'll turn it off. No, bro. I mean, yeah, you can still mess with women that are not a virgin. I'm saying don't marry them. I don't think a woman should have that privilege of marriage if she's not a virgin. And I think that's something that we need to be pushing out there heavily to all men. No, you ain't getting rich off dudes' resources. Mr. T, camera on or camera on? Give me a thumbs up, bro. Off. Then turn off your camera, bro. Let me bring in Mr. T in the background. What's going on, Mr. T? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good, man. All about this virginity things is like it's very serious because it's to do with pair bonding as well. You
Mm,
know, if she's not a virgin, it's highly, very highly she's imprinted as well because when they do intercourse and things like that, it's like it does something solely to her.
mm,
It's not only physical, it's spiritual as well. You should understand that as well. And another thing I was going to say is that women with tattoos, remember that one, with tattoos as well.
mm,
Those ones with tattoos are also, they have a high body counts. We should also do the signs of women to avoid, signs of seeing high body counts as well.
mm,
Because there are other signs as well. They could be tattoos. Those strange tattoos with no meanings.
mm.
We should also be careful of non-religious chicks because some of them are into you know some weird spiritual stuff. Yeah, I can't say it on here, but you know what I mean.
Mm. Facts,
You know,
bro. Absolute facts.
they're into this stars and you know crazy things, man. And we have to watch ourselves because this is not only physical; it's also spiritual and mental warfare.
Mm. Facts, Mr. T. Absolute facts. And also the bull nose ring as well. That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
there as
yeah.
well.
And women who are loud,
Mm,
those loud ones as well. You know,
mm,
and yeah, and we shouldn't think of us as you said, small heads. We should think of our big heads, like our brains and things like that. You know,
mm.
we should be more disciplined, as you said. You know, sometimes our eyes may get us in trouble. What we see may get us in trouble. It's not. It's not reality. We shouldn't be judging just upon appearance. You know.
Facts. Speaking facts there, bro. I definitely agree. Thank you, man.
You're welcome, man. And then
Okay. Go on, bro. Anything else you want to say?
and another thing is like we should see how who her friends are as well. That's important.
Hmm.
And her social media.
Facts. Facts, bro. Thank you, Mr. T. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to call in and chime in on a topic, let me. The link is pinned on the live stream chat. Okay. Um. hmm. Man, this world is going to ish, man. Especially, it hits different when you're a principled man and you're seeing the world crumble around you. You're seeing women walk away from God, seeing women become 304s. Um, this isn't it, man. This isn't it. This is not it, bro. This is not it. Let me get some water. Duguid says, the question is, are we men constantly striving to live this life the way of God, or we do sinful things and expect to marry and expect the woman to be married to be holy, loyal, and cute? The work starts with men. I agree, bro. I definitely agree. You know, and that's why when I'm in Ibiza, Spain last year, I didn't run through chicks. I was in Japan last year in the club scene. I didn't run and run through chicks. You know. IP never did that. Can you turn your camera on in the background wherever you are for a couple seconds, please? I know you're not a troll. Backpack. Then you can turn your camera off. Let's see. Life is once you get your smashed in, because in the end, you get with a girl and find out she was all doing shady stuff. It'll matter less. That's interesting, bro. Sorry, man. Can't bring you in. Sorry, man. Can't bring you in, bro. We need to lead women, know of the wallet, but it may of being good characters, humble, honest, hardworking, godly. I mean, it's all true and well saying that, bro. But the media controls the women, bro. Designer clothes control women. TikTok controls women. They don't give a damn how men come across anymore, bro. And I'm being real here. They don't care how men come across. They just don't. Like, and this is 2025, bro. All that, we need to be better men. Show example. That's for the birds. And I'm being honest with you. Protect yourself. Pray you get a virgin. If not, figure something out. Where's everyone, man? If this was about some sort of nonsense happening, bro, we'd be at over 100 people watching live. This is what I'm talking about. When it comes to real topics, everyone's ghost. Everyone's ghost. When it comes to talking about Burkina Faso, right, Ibrahim Traore, everyone's ghost. It's weird to me, man. Like, at some point in time, yes, there's a time for fun, and there's a time for serious talk. Weird, man. Bro, it's like 9 p.m. Eastern time, man. No one's sleeping at that time, bro. That's facts, Cortez. That's facts, bro. Absolute facts. Absolute facts. Absolute facts, bro. Like, for example, like, again, I got my issues with China, but they keep their culture on lock. And it comes from the top. They keep their culture on lock. They keep it on lock. And this will probably be a separate stream, but I feel like foreign countries need to isolate America culturally. So what does that mean? Right? You need to find some way to filter out BS that's being pushed from TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, the whole 9 yard, into your woman. You need to find some way, right, to block that out. Because a lot of countries are not taking it serious, man. They're not seeing the negative effects of Western media. China has, right, and China doesn't even have Facebook in their country. There's no Twitter. There's no what's it called? Twitter. There's no Instagram. It's their own media. They have their own Facebook. They even have their own Google. Like, nothing Western at all is in China. And I think that should be the way foreign countries move. Build your own products and push your own culture. Because a lot of these leaders, right? A lot of these leaders just have no clue. A lot of these corrupt leaders have no effing clue what's coming 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I done seen daughters, women, children go against their own dads over BS because they're being poisoned by liberal garbage, teachings in schools, etc., etc. I done seen that, bro. I done seen that. So it comes to a point where, like, culture really matters. What's in the mainstream really matters. Like, there's got to be some way, like, to combat this, because obviously, like, we're talking about virginity now, but who's responsible for women becoming 3 or 4s tremendously over the past couple of years? The media, TV shows like Euphoria, you know, Sabrina, right? All these garbage TV shows that they just push nonsense, man. And we need some way to break into colleges, right? And in my honest opinion, now this might sound crazy, but I don't believe there should be college campuses. I think that should be scrapped. I think that there should be a number one priority. I think women should be at home when going to university, because it all goes wrong. It all goes wrong where a woman is 4 years in college campuses. We had Jam even tell us that, yo, he's seen good girls turn bad on college campuses. That's why, like, for me, when I hear a woman tell me, you know, she was on campus for 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, I don't want nothing to do with her, because I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. I'm at a point where I just don't. No, no. I prefer a woman that went to university from home every day, every week. I can't do college campuses, college campus chicks. You know? Yeah, and you can find yourself blocked, idiot. Go wipe up those 3 or 4s who spent 4 years on campus getting ran through by the football team, having different boyfriends, letting dudes come through to their dorm rooms. That's why some of you dudes, right, you ain't gonna make it. That's why some of you dudes, you're not gonna make it, bruv. You're not. It's over for some of you dudes. Because the way I think is the reason why I have actively avoided low value, horrible women in my life. I look for certain things in her words that she tells me. Hey IP, I was at University of New York for 4 years on campus. Okay, we're done here. Okay, we're done here. And I don't care what race, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, Middle Eastern. If you are away from your parents from 18 to 22, 23, I don't want nothing to do with you. I want nothing to do with you in any shape or form. I don't. Unless I know that I'm certain that even though she was on campus, she was not a 304. She was not a 304. But guess what? Peer pressure is a B. Peer pressure is a B. She's a good girl, but her friends are doing crazy things and they influence her to join in. I seen it, bruv. I seen it. That's why I fear having kids in the West, man. I really do. I seen it all, bruv. I seen it all. Man, I think a lot, man. I really do. I think a lot. And that's what makes me different from other dudes. I think about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I'm thinking about children, I'm thinking about wifey, I'm thinking about what happens with women from 18 to 23, 24. Because master's in America is 2 years. She's on campus. She's on campus for 6 years, getting ran through. Couldn't be me. And it's also a point where if you're a man and you're on college campus, you should be looking for wifey, man. Because after, once you miss that stage in your life, it gets a lot more harder, man. You've not been around a woman that you like every week, every month, as opposed to a college campus where you can see how she lives, her lifestyle. And that's one thing that I regret. You know, college campuses everywhere, bro. Like college campuses in the UK, basically in any country where a woman is on college campus, right? It's a problem. America, UK, Australia, Canada, it's all the same BS, man. A bunch of effing going on, a bunch of 3 or 4 activity going on. There's no parents there to keep them in check. So for me, right, a woman that's most likely a virgin is a woman that during 18 to 22, she was at home. Going to university, right, from university to home. University to home. College campuses, college parties, weekends, getting drinking, getting drunk. Nah, bro. Facts. That's a great comment there, Cortez. A lot of our elders in our community have failed us. Okay? They failed to tell young men there will never be another time like college. I definitely agree, bro. College is the best time to meet wifey because you can vet easily. You're around that woman every single time in classes. What goes around if she's a 3 or 4. Whereas after college, right? After college, right? You meet a chick, you have no idea about her background. But if you're in the same classes, same university, same societies, you can see how she lives. And that's one thing that bugs me, man. That's one thing that bugs me. I should have taken, I should have been looking for wifey at university. But I'll tell you what, I come from poverty. I grew up extremely, I grew up dirt poor. Women were the last thing on my mind in college, man. I had to get good grades. because a black man getting bad grades in college it's over. It's over. I had to put in work, man. I was studying every day. I graduated with top grades. I did, but I also wish I put in work to also date, get a woman, and I do regret a lot of things, man. Robert, I see you in the background, bro. Give me a thumbs up, bro. You good? Can I bring you in, brother? Your camera's on. Is that okay? Camera on. Give me a thumbs up, bro. Thumbs on. Are you okay with that, bro? Brother, give me a thumbs up, brother. Okay, let me bring a Robert in the background. What's going on, bro? You good?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm going to give you a quick background about myself. So I'm from the UK. Raised mostly in Canada, but I've lived in Southeast Asia for off and on for about 6 years. I returned back from Cambodia last year, okay? So I've lived in different countries, and I've lived in Cambodia, I lived in Thailand, I've lived in Indonesia, spent lots of time in Malaysia. So I have a little bit of perspective, all right?
Okay, bro.
I do agree with what you're saying. I completely agree with what you're saying regarding wanting to find like a virgin and marry her. I do agree with that. I just think in today's time, it's extremely difficult to find that type of chaste woman. There's even people, you know what I mean? There's even, people in the Muslim community who are having a hard time with this because Westernism has infected almost every single corner of the earth. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is the issue that you're gonna run across. Like, we're all getting older, right? And so even myself, like right now, I'm doing IT. I'm studying IT. I come from an engineering background. I used to do drafting technologies, oil and gas. Okay, but I've transitioned over to doing IT. So I'm going to be doing system admin stuff for that. Just sure. So I'm on the same page. So I like how you're always encouraging brothers to like do the IT thing and all that. It is the way to freedom. Okay. I just think this is the thing. You and I have both traveled a lot of countries, right?
Yeah.
And just realistically, it's extremely difficult to find a virgin. And even if you do find a so-called virgin, and I'm going to keep this PG, she may have done other acts. And you know what I'm talking about, the back door. I'll just leave it at that. I want to keep it, So my whole thing is it if you could find like a chaste woman, yeah, then marry her. But I just think it is incredibly difficult, right? And if it was just like you and I, and we never left the UK, we never left that county, and we were saying, oh, I want to find a virgin, stuff like that. I would look at those people who are saying that, and I would say that they're naive. But as you know, mate, we've traveled different countries, we've seen a lot of different things, we've been exposed to a lot of different things, and we both know in this day and time, it's virtually impossible, my man. Right? And even if we were raised in like a country like, there are exceptions, like if we were Qatari or Saudi or something like that, but we're not born into those races or those backgrounds. And so it's extremely difficult. And even if you look at people in the Indian culture, like look at the second, third generation Indians or Pakistani people back in the UK, those young ladies, they're not virgins. A lot of them, they're almost as bad as the Western women.
Damn. So essentially, Robert, you're saying that marriage isn't so. Brother, for you, Robert, right? Would you marry a non-virgin?
Really good question. Before I would have said yes. Now I think it's a tough question, man. I think that if it was back in the day, she has to be a virgin. But I think, for me personally, I'm going to put it this way: I've given up on marriage. I have no children. All right, I live, I've lived in five countries. It's going to be 6 after I've done my IT studies and all that. I'm heading back to Cambodia for a bit. I've been to Japan. I've been to a lot of places that you would be, but I just think right now, man, it's just extremely difficult to find that type of chaste woman. You see, the thing is with us, I'm like 2nd generation British. My background on both sides of my family come from the Caribbean, right? I pick up that you're probably Caribbean heritage too, right? Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. So we know that back on the islands, whether that be Grand Cayman or Jamaica or Puerto Rico or some other place, that the young girls down there are they're already very experienced.
Yeah.
The woman, the young boys and the young girls, because everything else like that, I'm not opposed to that. But I'm just saying, when you have so many children, whether they be for it's the same thing, my friend. You're coming across a lot of women that have been so effective. What I think, what you and if I understand completely that you want to marry a virgin. I respect that. I don't think it's realistic, but I think if you do, you know what I think? Your best option, and I hope this place does not become like another passport destination, but you need to focus on countries like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, those countries with very strong religious ties and that have not been corrupted by the West yet. You understand what I'm saying?
You're right, bro. But I don't believe that Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, I don't believe the women there are even thinking about black dudes, bro, if I'm honest with you.
Okay, so I haven't been down there yet. I will go to Kazakhstan in the near future, I think. I don't know, so I can't speak on that. But I think you're wrong in that, man. I think if you go down there, well dressed, well spoken, and you take a genuine interest in the culture, and you want to learn the language, and if you were to stay there for 6 months, well, I have to get back to you on that. Let me go there first because I don't like to speak in theory. So let me finish off my studies. I got another 2 years. Let me finish off my studies and do what I'm doing in IT. And I think you could be wrong in that. I'm optimistic, but I'm just putting it out there. And the reason I'm saying that is because they have a strong Islamic background in those countries, okay? And they have not been corrupted as of yet by the West. That's just where I'm coming from, right? Like during the pandemic, I was living in Bali. I got stuck there. I didn't want to head back to the UK. Anyway, we won't go there. I was there for about 3.5 years, right? And I met several different, Russian. Yeah, I saw Russian girls with black guys all the time. I did see it. I did see it, honestly.
Awesome. Robert, let's touch base, bro, on IG, bro. I'd love to bring on a channel to hear about your time traveling. If you want to come on the channel, brother, speaking about your time in Bali or whatever country, it'll be great,
okay.
Bro. So I put my IG in the private chat. You see it?
I see the chat. What do you want to put down here? My email?
No. So basically, or put on your IG there, DM me on IG,
sure.
or you can DM me on IG yourself, bro, so we can be in touch. Oh man, can you hear me? Or did the brother freeze? Can y'all hear me? Brother. It's funny how... Can you hear me, guest? So the brother froze? Oh, man. Hopefully he comes back. But he's right, man. Like, I don't know about Kazakhstan, if I'm honest with you. I don't know, man. Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan. Why would they pick a black man, a dark-skinned black man, over anything? And I'm trying to be realistic here, and I'm a guy that practices realism. What is it about me that will make a Kazakhstan chick that's high value, rich, whatever, pick me over her own men or a white dude? You know? Me traveling all the way to Central Asia, I don't know, man. Like, this is really frustrating. Damn. I just don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, especially being a dark, especially, you know, if you're a dark-skinned brother, it's a whole different game. You know, and I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. Let me bring in Robert again. Robert in the background. Robert, so brother, yeah, I put my IG's in the private chat. So if you take it down and DM me or put your email
Sure, I
there,
will DM you.
Thank you, bro.
Absolutely.
Okay. So Robert,
Yes.
I was just saying how you know, especially it's even hard. Like, I feel like race does matter in many things. So as a black man, dark-skinned black man, right?
Yes.
What would Kazakhstani women see in me that would make them pick me over their own men or white dude?
The only thing is, okay, so I haven't been down there, but while I was in Bali, I was living in the Canggu region because I surf. I was acquaintances with a Kazakhstan man who was working at the co-working spot that we're working at called Tropical Nomad. And he said, you got to come down to Kazakhstan, Robert. The woman would just love you. So I think because they don't have, really, there's no black people there. There's that initial fascination. Now, I haven't gone yet. So I don't, you know, I mean, as I said, I don't like to speak on theory or things I haven't done yet. But if it's a decision between going to there and Russia, I'm going to pick Kazakhstan. Okay? Because I think they're not xenophobic or nationalistic like Slavic Russians are, right? Because you have to understand, this is the thing a lot of people don't understand. The original Russian people, so-called Russian people, that you associate with being Russians, those are not the original Russian people. Original Russian people are Asiatic. They're not Slavic. They're not Caucasian. The Caucasian people you see in Russia these days, in Ukraine, those are recent invaders of Russia. That is why in countries like Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Siberia, and a lot of different parts of Russia, the original Russian people are Asiatic. They're Asian. And you can check that out. That is a genetic DNA fact, right? So Caucasian people, what we call so-called Europeans or whatever today, they only have they've only been around the last 5,000-10,000 years, documented evidence of their arrival. They invaded what is now called Russia, and they're the ones in political and economic power in Russia. You can do your own research on it. I'm telling you facts. Right? So the thing is, you know what I mean? Like, yes, black men are not the best position right now. Trust me, I understand exactly what you're saying. Too many of us are led by too many black men are led by their nether regions. If they're dating a woman from another race, they go for the lowest common denominator. I don't do that personally. I'm single right now. Been single for over a year. Celibate for over a year. I'm just telling it like straight up. Because right now I'm in Canada doing my studies, right? Trust me, I don't want to be here, but it's, look, I already got a home here and everything else. The education is good here. It's cheap. I can be done in 2 years, have my IT stuff done, my qualifications, and then I'm off again. I'm buying a place in Cambodia, actually. But my whole thing is, you can look at this present situation that people of African descent are in now as, yeah, we are at the bottom of the totem pole. I admit that completely. But you got to understand too that this is a small fraction in time where we're the underdog. If you look throughout history, we were the first civilization, known civilization on this planet. We taught the Greeks, we taught the Romans. They would come down to Egypt and Timbuktu and everything like that to do trade and to learn from us, learn medicine, learn science, learn mathematics. We are the ones. So that's the kind of perspective I come along in that I know a little bit of our history. So as far as I'm concerned, we're already at the top. If you look at, I don't call us black, I call us melanated people, sons and daughters of Africa. If you look at us, we outnumber Caucasian people. It must be more than 5 to 1. It could be even 10 to 1. If you just look at numbers, and then if you add the Asiatic people in, they are the minority on this planet, not us. That is just facts. You can look at the statistical numbers for world population broken down by race. You can check the CIA website. Everything I'm saying is fact. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? So if you're dealing with, the thing is, a lot of Black men, I think, have a defeatist attitude, and they have a low self-esteem, especially, and growing up in England is no joke as a Black man. If you're not a footballer, if you're not a boxer, if you're not a rapper or whatever, it's going to be hard for you to pull women, a decent woman that are not, you know what I mean? You see these English chicks, man. I can't stand them. I went back to live in the UK and I left 2 weeks before Brexit. I haven't been back since. Okay? So I think that we're in a temporary slump. I don't think it's going to be this way forever. Whenever, you know what I mean? This is the way I look at it, my friend. This is the way I look at it. Look at, while I was also in Bali, I was friends with a Jewish professor who was, he was a professor at Harvard. Okay? And we had lunch, we go out for dinner sometimes. We had a conversation. It kind of came, we were talking about the whole racial thing about, you know, the whole George Floyd and the BLM and all, which I disagree with. That's another story. And he admitted to me, and I said, like, who are some of the top students at Harvard? Nigerians. Nigerians. And then the Chinese. Or it's like this, or they're neck and neck. So African people from the continent, we have the brains, man. We have everything we need. We have the physical strength. We have the genetics. All we have to do is come together. And that's why I've never, ever looked down. You know, there's some people in the Caribbean and people, Black people that live in Europe or the UK, they look down upon the African. I've never, ever been like that. I have a lot of respect for the African because they're, a lot of the times, they have more ambition and they have more drive than us second, third generation British Europeans. You understand what I'm saying? Also, you find that their family unit is much stronger than your average Caribbean or British Black household. It's true. You know I'm talking truth. We are, as far as I'm concerned, we were the first people on this earth, and we're going to be the last when this planet is done. So I, for my part, do not have any type of inferiority complex dealing with any, or trying to make myself a friend. Like, I've never ever tried to really ever befriend Caucasian people. They've tried to do it to me. Now, I'm not racist. I'm not racist or anything like that. But the thing is, I realize that there is a power imbalance between Caucasian and Black people. Okay? Economically, militarily, and everything else currently right now, right? So my thing is, I'm always going to protect myself. I'm going to always look out for my best interests because that's what they do. You understand what I'm saying? So when I'm dealing with them, it's what can I get out of them? How can I get a return on, how can I get a good ROI? That's how I look at it. I look at it very pragmatically. I have no emotion whatsoever when I'm dealing with them. Same thing when I'm dealing with the Chinese. I tell you this right now. I have Chinese in my family back from in Jamaica, right? My father, my father, it's a whole long story, but my father divorced my mother, long story. My two half sisters are part Chinese, all right? They went ahead and married Caucasian guy. One of them married some Irish guy and all them. So I have these people in my family, right? My brother, he is married to a Serbian woman. They have two children, two young children. So, like, as I said, I'm not against interracial marriage or anything like that, but I understand where on the chessboard that we are. Okay? And because like we are the underdog economically, militarily right now, we have to stop infighting amongst each other and help each other, even if we're not going to get an immediate ROI. So if I'm over in Asia, right, and some person of melanated descent, they need some type of help, and they're not a scam artist, I'm going to freely help them. If they need money, I'll just give them money. As you know what I mean? That's it. I don't care. We can always make more money, man. You're in IT, you're much more experienced with me. I've just been studying for the last few months, you know, but we're always going to be in the position where we can make money. We can do this type of career from anywhere in the world, which is why I took it, right? I was going to do welding before, and I was like, no, man, I need absolute freedom to what I'm going to be doing. I need to make the max amount of money in the shortest period of time and be economically free to go to Tokyo or Japan like I did last year, or Vietnam. So we have, I think you got to look at it more optimistic, mate. We have a lot of options, but I think we have to focus more on our strengths and not focus so much on what the people of our same skin color are doing foolishly in the media. Because they're the ones that are bringing our reputation down, man. We need more Michael B. Jordans. We need more Michael Kuglers. We need more Idris Elbas. We need more type of men like General Colin Powell, who passed away, who's of Jamaican descent like us. You understand what I'm saying? That is who we got to look up to, man. Not just these entertainers, but people that are actually doing things. And there's a lot of this. I got to get to Africa. This is my thing. I got to go to Africa and spend a good 3 months down there in Uganda. I want to go to Namibia. But I've traveled. You and I have both traveled to so many countries, but I don't think either one of us have gone to Africa. Have you gone to Africa yet?
Nope. Oh, Morocco. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, Morocco is Africa, but it was invaded by. We won't go there. We know it was invaded.
But let me ask this right. So, you said that focusing on our strengths, right? And tell me if I'm being pessimistic here, but brother, honestly, what strengths do we have as Black men in 2025? Because we have no first world Black country. We have no strong military. And in my stream yesterday, right, in regards to Burkina Faso, I said
yes,
blatantly that, you know, we how do I put it into words, right? We are, our destiny and our lives is controlled by non-Black people. Not only from an African perspective, right, but even in the West, where in the UK, it's a white person we go to for a job or to make good money or mortgage applications or just making money in general. Whereas the Chinese have an independent international money system. So what does that mean? They got Chinatown all around the world, where it doesn't matter if an economy does good or bad, everyone needs to eat. And it just so happens that a lot of people like Chinese food, so they're making money every day via Chinatown. Then they have
Yes.
the Chinese have 5 first world Chinese speaking countries. China, and in my opinion, China also controls or has major power in these other countries. And I call it the Chinese satellite states. What are they?
Yes.
Singapore, Malaysia, Macau, and what's the other one? And Hong Kong. And these are first world countries, and they make their own money independently. I mean, for goodness sake, bro, Singapore is a major banking system that has links all around the world. So the Chinese make money, so they're independent of the white man, bro. We need to get to that Chinese level of independence and wealth. And I don't like, when will it happen, bro? When? Because go on, bro.
Yeah, will it happen in our lifetime? I don't. I'm being realistic with you. I don't think. I don't think. You know what? This is a thing, man. I think we as black men. Okay, I'm gonna put it straight. I'm gonna put it straight. Okay, I'm gonna put it straight. And we are both guilty of this. I'm gonna assume that you're guilty of this too, because we both interracially date. Agreed? No, man. Look, you know I'm right. You know I'm right. I date Asian girls predominantly, and I think you do too. Am I correct? So look, I go to the root of the problem. Look, I go to the root of the problem, even though it's painful. It's painful. By us dating outside the race, and if we were to potentially get married, it's probably the majority that we're gonna probably end up with a non-black woman. Would you agree? Not because black women are not beautiful, but because they are less subservient and they have masculine traits. You would agree?
Damn, like, brother, like, oh man, like, and I've been thinking about this recently as to, like, I feel like I want to get myself back to, how should I say this, man? Like, brother, carry on, bro, carry on.
Yeah, okay, so this is what I'm saying. Black men like you and I who are well-traveled, who have an education. I'm entering the IT field now. You're obviously much more experienced and higher up but we're in the same field basically. I have dual passports. I'm trying to work on getting a third one, but that's another story. A lot of melanated men of our case, we are more likely to date outside of our race. And when we get married, we're much more likely to marry someone outside of our race and have children with someone outside of our race. Chinese people don't do that. Not to the same extent. Indian men don't do that. Arab men don't do that. Arab is not a race, by the way. The whole Arab thing is there are a combination of African and European Mediterranean people that came together a long time ago. So they're not a race, but that's whole nother thing because people get that mixed up all the time. So what I'm saying is Qataris, Saudi Arabian people of the United Arab Emirates, India, Pakistan, China, Korea, Japan, they mainly stick within themselves, correct?
I agree.
So when they're doing their economy, so their economics, their circular economics, their money turns over in their community up to 6 times before it leaves the community. Jewish people, I believe, is between 8 and 9. So we have the Hasidic Jews, Ashkenazi Jews, all of these other people. Again, Jewish is not a race, it's a subset of Caucasian, European people, whatever, but for the sake of argument. So what I'm trying to say is the most economically powerful people on this planet stick within their own. We as black men, we don't do that, man. We're guilty. We're part of the problem. You understand what I'm saying? Look, it's hard to look, man. I don't like, a lot of people, they say, oh, Robert, they don't like talking to me because the men today, they're so bloody, they're so soft. When they ask me a question and when I give them the answer back, they're saying, you're too harsh, Robert. No, you're too soft because you're coming up to me asking me a question. I'm giving you the facts behind it. why such and such an action results in this. And I don't care what people do, who they sleep with or whatever, but if you ask me a question, I'm going to give you the straight up truth. That's why a lot of people, they don't like me. I have very few friends. I speak the same way I'm speaking to that I speak to women. I don't play games with women, man. Look, if there's a woman I'm attracted to, the first or second time we meet, I tell them exactly if I have any feelings towards them. I don't have female friends. I'm a straight shooter. Okay? You and I are part of the problem, my friend. We're guilty because we interracially date predominantly non-Black women. We're guilty of that. Second of all, we have not gone to the continent of Africa. Well, okay, technically you have. You're one up on me. You've gone to Morocco. But I mean, a predominantly Black country in Morocco. In Africa, you have not been to. So we are part of the problem. And I think we got to fix that, man. I really think that we got to spend some time in Africa with our own people. You understand what I'm saying?
I feel you, bro.
Because we are hypocritical. I believe that we're not meant to be, but our actions are hypocritical to Black men who want the best for our own people. And I know Black women are hard to deal with, man. Trust me, I understand where you're coming from. I absolutely, the attitude and the fake hair, the weave and all that, I'm not into any of that. I agree with a lot of the things that you say. But at the same time, man, I think that we gotta get back a little bit more to our roots. I'm not saying that we have to go and marry and wife up any type of Black woman out there. I'm just saying I think we've done ourselves a disservice by not getting more back to our culture. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because even though our lot, I feel that Black men we're not, like, especially in 2025, I don't think our lot is very high. I really don't. I feel you on that. I agree with what you're saying. But at the same time, we are, you see, we're coveted for the wrong reasons. We're coveted by women of lots of different races for our physical attributes. They do have fantasies about us. That is a fact. But for long term, we are not first choice. Would you agree with that?
I agree. I definitely agree, bro.
Okay. So you and I are both brothers that are, you and I are both brothers who are not led by another regions. Therefore, when we date a woman of other race, we want them to look at it as more than just someone to have a few fun nights with. Agreed?
Yeah, agreed.
That is where a dilemma comes in. It's going to be, we have to do a lot more than the Caucasian man to prove to that woman of that other race that we're more than just for a short good time. But don't fool yourself, man. A lot of women, they want us on a physical level. And in a lot of cases, even more so than the Caucasian man. The only thing the Caucasian man has above us right now is he has the same face as the colonizers that colonized a lot of these countries, even the African countries. And they have the financial resources behind them. When we start matching up more and getting more of this, not just as individuals, but as a country, as you're saying, which I don't think is going to happen in this lifetime, then we're going to see the things switch over, man. Because I'm being straight up, man. I put my face in camera. I don't give up. I don't care who sees my face. I'm telling it straight, man. The people of European descent are in a downward depopulation spiral. Would you agree?
That's what the stats say, bro. That's what the stats say.
That's what the stats say. The CDC says that. The CIA websites will say that. The European statistical studies all point to that. Their women do not want to procreate and have children with their own men. So what does that tell you? That the sliding scale of being a Caucasian male is not up here anymore. It's dropping. Because if they were truly as economically and powerful as you or maybe other people seem to think, then why the women want to breed with them? To continue on their legacy of rulership over the earth. Is it natural? Is natural law beginning to take over on a metaphysical level on this planet? It must return back to melanated people, because we were the first ones here. The first people on this planet were melanated people from Africa. Second was the Asiatic black man that left the continent of Africa, moved over to Asia. Then the Asian is the second race upon this planet. Because the thing is, this is a massive confusion about this. Because people say, well, how did all of these different people get to all of these far-flung countries? It's not very complicated, my man. The entire continents on this planet were all one mass, correct?
Yeah.
They all fit together, right?
Mm.
So these people, all they had to do was walk to another part of this great landmass. When the great upheaval came and the continents became split off, our ancestors, which are from the Caribbean, got separated in the Caribbean islands. Other Asiatic black people that populated Asia, and you can still see the Asiatic blood in people from Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia. There's people there that you would swear were black, but they're actually Indonesian. And they still have our phenotype, the Afro hair and everything else like that. So everywhere you go, you're going to see a black face on this planet. The Aborigines are connected to us. The Maoris in New Zealand are connected to us. The people from Tahiti, they all have our blood in them. So as far as I'm concerned now, look, yeah, we are in a downward spiral. The reason is because our psychology is very different from European people. European psychology it's more what's mine is mine and what's yours is also mine. But if you look at the Caribbean, if you look at Africa, if you look at Hawaii, the first Hawaiians were black. The original Hawaiian were black people. Look that up. The original queen of Hawaii, who was tricked into giving up her monarchy, was a black woman. If you look at all these people, they all have our genes, a lot of the times they have our phenotype in them. This knowledge has been forgotten. Umar Johnson, all of these people, if you look at some of our great scholars, they will all verify what I'm saying as fact. I'm not making any of this up. So I'm proud of being a melanated person. I would not want to be someone of European descent, even though I will say this, because you're from the Caribbean and you're probably from a similar island to where my grandparents came from, who are no longer alive, we have mixed blood. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Mm.
So we're not pure, because definitely my mother isn't. She's a very fair-skinned black woman. We're not pure blood. Unfortunately, it is what it is. You know, I've mixed ancestry on my mom's side. So my whole thing is we got to get back to our original people, and we got to work together on a small scale, helping out one brother or one sister at a time. The thing is, look, you have a lot of IT experience. You've been doing it for years. You know what you're doing. You've gone to so many countries, just like I have. I've lived in 5 different countries. From the UK, there's so much that you could teach to a young brother or young sister regarding IT if you were in Africa, or if you're in the Caribbean, or if you're in the UK, to give them a leg up on what they need to know. So when they apply for that position, or when they want to start up their own consultancy firm, they can hit the ground running. I've given up on the woman thing, on finding some love of mine. I've given up on that, man. I've had several relationships, lived with girlfriends and things like that. My last relationship ended about 2 years ago. I was with a beautiful Balinese woman. That ended. Since then, I've just had one-night things and things. I won't go into it. It's not fulfilling to me anymore, having these flings anymore. Okay? I think you're at that same point where you're fed up of just having those one-night stands. That's what the impression I get. Am I correct?
Bro, I don't really do one night stands like that. But let me read the super chats, bro. But I don't do one night stands. Shout out to Mr. Aaron of Ishval for the support. What's good, IP? I joined this one late today, but we need a few hours to discuss Burkina Faso with a full core panel. Yes, indeed, bro. Yes, indeed. More content coming on that in the future. Shout out to Aaron of Ishval again for the support. You have to be especially cautious in the Middle East. Reconstruction surgery is big business in the Arab world. I heard, brother. I heard. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated, bro. So, no, you're speaking facts there, bro.
Yeah.
And I wanted to, because I've got a crash out session in around 5-10 minutes, so I just want to go on Rumble and Kick and crash out.
Yeah.
So, brother, you're speaking facts there, real facts. But I want to circle back to what your point, right, in terms of the race of woman that we should pick. Now,
yeah.
I agree with you, bro. But there's also the point where if you happen to be physically attracted to a particular race of woman, Korean, Japanese, right, and then you deviate from that and you get a black chick because she's black, but in your heart, truly, you are attracted to a Japanese chick or Korean chick, right? Is it right to go against who you truly prefer racially to marry and date a black woman because she's black, right? You know, or
I think.
Go on, bro.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think that if you're more attracted to one particular type of race or phenotype, I think I'm not like Umar Johnson. I'm not, coming on here banging, oh, your mother's black, you have to date black, nothing else. I'm not like that. Trust me, I'm not. I just think that we should be open-minded to it. If we were to look, I know it's tough, man. As a black man, let me tell you this. What's your first name again? What's your name that you go by?
It's IP. Call me IP.
IP. Okay, so IP. It is. You've noticed this. Have you noticed how difficult it is to get a beautiful feminine black woman?
Of course. Yeah. I'll send it the other day, bro. Like it's hard for an average black man to pull a good-looking black woman, right? Whereas everywhere I go to in the UK, I see how easy it is for average white men, Indian men, whatever, to pull their own race of women that are good-looking. But for the average black man, it's next to impossible, bro.
It's mission impossible. Let me tell you this, IP. When I was in the UK, when I was in Bali, during the pandemic, I was living there for about 3.5 years. At one of the co-working spots there in Canggu, which is like a place for surfers and stuff like that, there was this stunning black woman who was working there. I was working there at night, and I was going to grab some tea, and I was walking back to the office, and she was waving me over, and she stopped me. And she happened to be I think she's from London, and we began I think I have a picture. I should try and send it. Beautiful, feminine. But you know what? I shot my I tried to shoot my shot at her, but it never materialized in anything. And I'm a guy that will only try once. If she doesn't respond after that, I won't do anything. And it wasn't until a little bit later I saw her with a below average white guy on a date. So I just threw my hands up. You have to be Kobe Bryant or Chris Brown to get a beautiful black woman as a black man. That is dysfunction, man. It's dysfunctional. So again, I'm not blaming the black woman. I don't have anything negative to say about black. I'm not one of those guys that are angry at black women or whatever. Look, their minds have been corrupted. This particular beautiful, if you saw her, you would like her. You would like her. Trust me. I'm gonna try and find her picture. But yeah, she just didn't. I tried to make something happen. It didn't happen, and I just kind of realized, you know what? That is what happens with a lot of black guys that are interested in a black woman. She won't reciprocate, but she'll go after below average Chad, Caucasian man.
Story of my life, bro. Facts, bro. Absolute facts. All
Yes.
my brothers that I know, they go through that a lot, and it's disheartening, man. So obviously, when you're rejected repeatedly by your race of woman, you either you have two options, right? You accept it, or you look outside. Okay, could an Asian chick like me? Could a Latina chick like me? And then you start to be more involved in their culture, like how they look. Suddenly, you find yourself really attracted to a particular race of women that are not black, and
Yes.
that's the story for a lot of black dudes, bro. You know,
I know.
like, and it's really upsetting, like, as to what we go through just to try and get a woman that's decent in our community. It's so upsetting, bro.
It's heartbreaking, but you know what I mean, like, you know what I mean. And this thing with this young woman, you know what she said to me? She said that she would look. She told me this straight up, because when I'm with a woman, I just let her talk, because I want to find out everything about her. I want to make her feel free and comfortable, so I know if I can qualify her or not to move forward with her. Okay. So I never put restrictions on women. I let them expose themselves. So she'd been around the street a few times. And you know what she said to me? She said, even though she's been with different races and things like that, she said, even though she's dated around, that when it comes to marriage and children, that she wants to marry a black man. I'm serious. This is what she said. And when she said that, you know what, in my head, I'm thinking, you know what? You're only good for one thing. And you know what the sad thing is? Some unassuming, nice guy, decent black man is going to fall for her BS and end up wifing that up. So coming back to your point on marrying a virgin, I agree with what you're saying. I don't disagree with it. I just don't think it's realistic in this point of time. And I don't think it's worth it for us at this point in time in our lives to get married to a woman. I think if you find one, just live common law with her and protect your finances. But I don't think there's any point in us. I'm just talking for myself. Perhaps it applies to you. What is the point in us marrying with one of these women? Why? You know that most of these married women, most women in general, they have male friends. And one thing with my girlfriends, my exes, I said, if you want a relationship with me, you cannot have any male friends. You must cut them off. I don't even care if they are gay. No male friends.
What was the response on average?
They agreed. Yes, go ahead.
And obviously, a lot of women would push back. But how did you get them to agree, bro? Is because you showed your value, or?
You know what I do? Like, obviously, you know what I mean? Like, I support myself, I support them. But my whole thing is, at this point, because I've had different relationships before. I've lived with women. I've had women, one of my ex-relationships, she's on me bad. She red pills me bad. So after that experience in my 30s, it taught me a lot. I didn't look at it as, yes, it was a very negative thing that happened to me, but it could have been much worse. I could have been married to this woman. I could have had children with this woman. Thank goodness none of that happened. So my whole thing is, I put my cards on the table, just like I'm having this conversation with you right now. And if they don't like it, my friend, I just walk. Let them go. Let them, even if I have to be without a woman for the next few months, I just walk. I'm not going to compromise. Why would I compromise with a woman who has already allowed herself to be taken by Chad and Tyrone and Pookie and Ray Ray? And yet, when I tell her no male friend, she's going to push back on that. Well, if you're going to push back on that, that means that you still you want to be in a relationship, but you still want to act single. So if that is the way that you want to act, then be single. But I'm not sticking around for it. The only way I'll stick around is I'll be like, yeah, we're not going to have any type of relationship. But if you want to hook up every now and then, we can do that. But do not expect anything from me above and beyond that. I put it to them straight, IP. Straight. And I said, if you don't like it, then I'm going to leave right now. Because there's no point in us continuing this conversation. if more men put their foot down in the beginning of a relationship or any type of interaction with a woman, yes, a lot of women are going to walk away. But the women that stick with you, they're going to know where you stand. You see, this is the thing. This is the thing, IP. Too many men today are thirsty. They're so thirsty, they allow then their below the waist to do their thinking for them. And even the dumbest, stupidest woman on earth knows if a man is led by his desires or not. And because men have not stood up to women and told them exactly what they expect, the women are running the show, my friend, and they feel they can do whatever the hell they want. And that's why the reason you see, this is the thing, I don't blame women for the situation with OnlyFans and all of these other things. If the men weren't buying these services, the thirsty simps, then these women would have no audience.
Facts.
So the men are the common denominator because we're supposed to be the leaders in the home, in the community. We do all the hard jobs. We protect the woman. All we ask for, if you're any type of real man with any testicular fortitude, is loyalty from a woman. That is it. It's very simple. She doesn't have to take out any money from a woman. But if you're going to be in a relationship with me and other men that think like me, then you have to be in it 100%. And you're not going to be with me and still advertising yourself on Instagram or Facebook and still accepting male attention. I don't know, man. If I have to be alone, then I'm going to be alone. But I'm not sleeping in the bed with the enemy. Nope. I'll die by my principles if I have to. Because you got to understand, man, every time a woman is intimate with a man, she is exchanging energy, metaphysical energy. Her soul is bonding to that other man. Do you understand what I'm saying, IP?
Yeah, facts.
So when I understand what you're saying, see, if you marry a non-virgin woman, the men that she's had in her past, she would already have bonded with them on a physical and a spiritual and a metaphysical level, right? So in her mind, say she was a Pookie or Ray Ray or Shad or Itire, it doesn't matter. The previous men that she was with before, they have a piece of her soul. And I'm keeping it PG for the YouTube, but when that man has been intimate with her, he's imprinted on her, correct? Physically, because he has left, we won't go there, you know what I mean? Physically and spiritually and metaphysically, he has left a part of himself imprinted upon her. So even if you were to marry her, she's not yours, man, because she's going to be always comparing you to her past. And that's why I say, men like you and I, we should not get married, man. It's too late. If we had met if we had been with our primary or high school sweethearts from a very young age, we knew them from very young, and our families knew each other, and then we got married, I would say yes. But that is not our reality, IP. It's too late for us. All the good, most of the good women are taken by the time they're 25, my friend. 25, 26. You know I'm right. Am I right?
You're right, bro.
Okay, so if you're dealing with a woman 28 and up, how many bodies has she had? You're not getting... This is the thing. Men are so stupid. This is what I don't understand, man. You see, a man, if you have two beautiful Mercedes-Benz C-classes, or say D-classes, but one of them has 200,000 miles on it, but has a beautiful paint job on the outside, and the other one is straight off the factory floor. Which one is superior? Which one are you going to buy if they're the same price? You're going to buy the brand new one that came off the factory floor, right?
Facts.
So then why are us men marrying and wifing up these women that have been ran through?
Can I ask this question, Robert?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I need to move on soon. Now, what about, Zababa, would you have kids with a woman that wasn't a virgin and you have no intention of marrying her? So basically you meet a woman, but she has a body count of, let's say, 4, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
You don't plan on marrying her because she's not a virgin. Would you have kids with her instead?
I don't think so, and this is the reason why. I never say never. I don't think so, and this is the reason why. Every time that woman, there's I forget what it's called, but there's some study on this. Do you know that every time a woman is intimate with a man and he leaves a piece of his genetic code in her, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're saying that that can sometimes influence the birth of a child, so that that child that you have may not be 100% your DNA, because that DNA from those other men stays within her body for up to 7 years. Have you ever heard of that?
I heard of that. Yep, I have. God damn.
So this is what I'm saying, my friend. This is what I'm saying. Be very careful. Be very careful. I think it's, yeah, I just, look, I hope you find that woman, man. I really hope you find her. I just don't think it's realistic. And I don't think I would. But the thing is, women lie so much. It's so easy for a woman to lie and tell you, oh, no, I am such and such.
Mm.
And she could have a huge body count. So I think this is what I'll end it with this, because I know you got to go. Unfortunately, at our ages, it's going to be very difficult to find one of these type of chaste women. And that if we end up with one of them, if we procreate with one of them, we're getting second and third hand used up, you know what. And I don't think it is a win for us. I don't. And it may be that we have to end up either having temporary relationships or ending up alone. You understand what I'm trying to say, IP?
Mm.
But if you can't, put it this way, and I'll leave with this. If at the end of the day, if you can't be 100% at peace with the woman that you're marrying, being a virgin, if you think she's had multiple partners before and you can't be 100% peace with it, don't marry her. And do not have children with her at all. Because in the back of your head, there's going to be something that's going to be bothering you, IP. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And if you're not 100% peace with it, don't do it, my man. That's a major decision. It's not like buying a house or a car. Who cares? It's just money. It can be easily replaced. But when it comes to your progeny, no, man, you don't fool around with that. Look at what male lions do. When a male, and this, I don't condone this, but when a male lion comes across a lioness who has cubs by another male, what does the male lion do? It kills those cubs immediately.
Damn.
What?
Thank you.
I'm telling you straight knowledge, man. I don't care if I get canceled. I don't care if I get hate comments. I'm telling you like it is, man, because more men have to stop being weak and just say it like it is. And we don't have enough men in society, let alone melanated men from who are African DNA, telling it like it is. They're trying to go around the issue for fear of getting canceled, for fear of turning off the woman. Because the same way I'm talking to you is the same way I deal with when I'm talking to them. If I'm interested, this is what I expect. If you don't want to come along, then that's fine. Let's separate, or we'll just hook up every now and then. But we just got to be more straight up and honest as men and transparent. That's all I'm going to say. I'll leave you with that, my friend. I'll DM you later. All right?
Yes, brother. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, bro. Okay. Look forward to your DM. Have a great day ahead. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, bro.
Bye.
Awesome. Brothers. Shoot, man. I'm boring right now. I need to crash out, man. I need to crash out. Oh man. Okay. So flip, bro. I'm about to flip and go. Oh man. Oh, God damn it. Oh man. All right, brothers. Y'all got 5 minutes to go on to Kick, Rumble, and Twitch. I'm about to crash the F out right now, bro. I'm about to flip and go ham. I'm here right now, bro. Everyone hop on Rumble, Twitch, and Kick. I'm about to crash the F out right now, bro. I don't give a damn anymore, man. everyone hop on the Rumble. There you go. The link's there. The Rumble is right there. The Kick is right here. I'm posting a link to Kick. Make sure you follow me on Kick, because I'll be doing only Kick exclusives coming very soon. So if you're not on Kick, you're losing. Kick and Twitch, Kick, Twitch, Rumble. Go and follow me right there, right now. I'm giving you 5 minutes to crash out, to move over to Rumble, Twitch, and Kick. I'm about to crash out in the last 20 minutes, man. I'm heated, bro. I'm heated. I'm about to crash the F out right now, bro. Oh my God. Lord have mercy, man. I'm about to crash the F out right now, man. Everyone move over to Kick, Rumble, and Twitch. Right now, please. Everyone get on Rumble, Twitch, and Kick right now. IP crash outs. Up next on Rumble, Kick, and Twitch. I'm giving y'all brothers 3 more minutes, man. I'm about to get some water. I'm gonna flipping. Oh man, I'm about to. Bro, you can't be playing with me right now, man. Everyone move on Rumble, Twitch, and Kick right now, bro. Move on Rumble, move on Kick right now. Here's a link to the Kick stream. Here we go. Move on Rumble, move on Kick, and move on Twitch right now. Everyone move. I'm about to, I'm about to no, I'm not moving on Kick. The Kick should be working fine. I'm about to crash the F out on Twitch, Kick, and Rumble. I'm giving y'all 3 minutes. Everyone move to Rumble, Twitch, and Kick right now. I'm about to crash the F out, bro. Take yourselves to Rumble, Twitch, or Kick right now. Last 20 minutes, I'm gonna crash out, man. Fucking hell. Move. All right, so I'm going to end the stream on YouTube. Find me on Rumble, kick on Twitch right now for the crash out session. Peace out. I'm in the YouTube stream right now. Okay. Edit. YouTube. Remove. Okay.